Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent. You're building a Warlock, and now you're deciding on who your patron should be. You're leaning towards Fiend, but which Fiend? What devil or demon? The planes are infinite and vast. There are 9 layers of hell, and over 666 possibly infinite layers to the abyss. Today we'll discuss some of the known devils and demons in the Forgotten Realms and how they can become your patron. Now, Fiend is a term to refer to really any malicious otherworldly creature within the D&D universe. Most, if not all, Fiends hail from the lower planes, realms such as the Abyss or Bator. Making a pact with these creatures is dangerous. Their aims are almost always evil, even if you strive against them. They will try to corrupt you to bring destruction to your surroundings. It makes for a complicated patron, one that can keep a good aligned party on their toes. Despite the evilness of Fiends, the Warlock does not have to accept this fate and perhaps can manipulate their patron just as their patron strives to manipulate them. Your fiendish patron could be from the 9 hells, Hades, the Abyss. Pretty much any creature from the lower planes could be considered a fiendish patron. However, something to note for dungeon masters out there, a weaker fiend often serves as an intermediary for higher powers. So a warlock might make a deal with a creature for power and not truly understand whom they serve. For example, a minor devil could come up with the contract, but the warlock's power comes from Asmodeus, Lord of the 9 hells himself. The Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide has a list of possible fiendish patrons if you're playing in the realms or wish to borrow some characters for your homebrew game. Bazka is a pit fiend, a type of devil from the 9 hells. He led armies from Dragonspear Castle against the peoples of Faerun, but a cleric of Tempest used a magical sword and stabbed Bazka in the heart. The blade broke off and he fled back to the 9 hells, now with a problem. The blade's still in his chest. If he dies in the 9 hells, he dies for good. If he had died on the prime material plane, he would simply have vanished back to the 9 hells, being stuck there for a century. However, the fiend's black heart continued to beat around the blade, and his desire is to return to Faerun for revenge. Eltab is a demon lord that was summoned back in Forgotten Realms history to be used as a weapon against the enemies of the Narfell. This was back in negative 148 DR, and by 75 DR, Eltab was captured and imprisoned beneath the ground. He was discovered and released a handful of times, but ultimately was re-imprisoned and discovered by the Red Wizards of Thay in 922 DR. I talk more about Eltab and his connection to the Red Wizards of Thay in my Red Wizards episode, so check it out. Eltab is a demon lord that once ruled a layer of the Abyss. He could be granting warlocks power to assist him in breaking free from his current prison in the Citadel of Conjurers and the nation of Impiltur. Mal-Kazid was a high solar of the service of the Seldarin, but he betrayed Corellon under Lulth's influence and was cast into the 9 hells. There, Mal-Kazid rose up the ranks in the 9 hells until he was exiled by Asmodeus. 1355 DR, he somehow made his way back to Faerun and wishes to attack and destroy elves. He attempts to get the elves to fight amongst themselves in hopes they'll destroy one another. Finally, Windonai was the Balor Lord that tempted the Dark Elves to summon demons during the Dark Descent, which was the time when the Dark Elves went underground. He was tasked by Lulth to corrupt the Dark Elves into worshipping her. It was another piece of the puzzle that ultimately pushed the Dark Elves to their evil way of life. Windonai might be a good Dark Elf Warlock patron, still trying to manipulate the Dark Elves under the instruction of Lulth. When it comes to Fiends, I really like the idea of making a pact with an unknown devil or demon, something that you create yourself and has a tie back to a larger archdevil or demon lord. For example, in your Warlock's backstory, he was a mighty general, but unable to stop an encroaching orc horde from destroying his kingdom. He makes a pact with a lesser devil for the powers to destroy this army, but winds up in servitude as a warlock. For a brief moment, he had the power of Asmodeus to destroy the orcs, and possibly, perhaps accidentally, his own kingdom too. Now he must live with his lessened game terms, level 1 powers, but what could he have possibly given up to obtain such instant power, but then to be in a longer contract with the devil? A dark secret for a powerful warlock to hide from his party. Or in the case of the chaotic demon lords, perhaps a young wizard apprentice was part of a summoning ritual gone wrong, and now the pact he's made is actually a demon's power fused with his very soul. The demon lord, such as Demogorgon, is pulling at the young warlock's soul, infusing it with power. The more powerful this warlock becomes, the stronger the pull to the abyss, until he's cured of this affliction or becomes absorbed in the abyss. If you want further information on the devils of the 9 hells or the demon lords of the abyss, I've got a couple of videos that talk about them. They're also in detail in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. There are 9 lords of hell and loads of demon lords of the abyss. I'll put a link in the description, but a simple Google search will bring up a Wikipedia page of demon lords that could be possible patrons for your warlock. Each has their own motivations, and it could be fun as a dungeon master to turn those motivations against your players. Abraxas is a demon lord of magic words and arcane secrets. Alvarez is a demon lord of torture. Kabiri is the watching master, and Oberith with numerous eyes. Dagon, the prince of depths, who is said to possess possess forbidden knowledge, or even Orcus, the prince of the undead. Demons seem more difficult as patrons because they're so chaotic and primal, not the civilized contracts that devils bring about the table. Still, demons might have a larger purpose in creating warlocks, distributing the power in a handful of creatures that might facilitate their arrival to Faerun. I think we get caught up so easily in, I'll give you power if you do a certain task for me. They could simply be a pawn in a greater scheme, and becoming a warlock is an afterthought for the devil or demon. Maybe that power comes unwillingly from a demon or devil. When it comes to warlocks, power can easily be given but not so easily taken back. Going against your patron using the blade given to you by said patron could be a very epic fight. Perhaps your warlock had his soul sold to a devil before he was born. He'll be stuck in hell once he has completed a task for the devil, but unfortunately he doesn't know what that task is. The warlock's whole quest is to be able to read their contract and look for a way out of it. As a DM, that has potential quests or adventure paths written all over it, depending on how much they want to save this warlock. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Special thanks to my patrons on Patreon that keep these videos going. If you'd like to become a patron, click the link in the description, or show your support by becoming a channel member and click the join button. Thanks again, everybody. I'll see you next week with more Forgotten Realms Explained.